Hey everybody, good to see you. I'm gonna get straight to the point because I think we have a lot to cover. Today we're gonna talk about when you should actually quit your full-time job and go after your dreams. So we just got back from Alberta with Peter. Here's a little teaser for you. We got some pretty good footage, and we had a lot of time to just sit in the car and I like just think about things and talk about things. And one of the things we talked about is how lucky we are to be full-time YouTuber, filmmakers, photographers, whatever we are. How lucky we are that we just get to go travel the world and make our own videos, and we get paid for this. And now, before we go any further, I just want to say and clarify that there is no one right way for everybody. Whether you're working a full-time job or you're a freelancer or you're an entrepreneur, there is no one right way for everybody. Not one of those is better than the other. They're just different ways of doing things. Just like with cameras, not one camera is the best for everybody. It depends what kind of shooting style you have and what kind of projects you have, all of that stuff. The same thing applies here. Freelancing is not for everybody, and we'll get more into who it's not for at the end of this video. So this is not a freelancing is for everybody video, but apparently already right now, 47% of millennials are freelancing. And these are all for America. 102.7 million people right now work normal full-time jobs, essentially working for somebody else, and 57.3 million are freelancers. But by the time 2027 rolls around, I don't know where they came up with these numbers, but apparently there's only gonna be 83.4 million people that are working just normal jobs, working for somebody else, and 86.5 million freelancers. So that's when the majority of people are gonna be freelancing. So whether you like it or not, apparently everybody is going more in the freelancing direction. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but that's out of the scope of this video. And I can see a lot of people are asking me when I'm doing my live streams or Q&As about when should they quit their jobs? When should they take that step? That scary step of you're leaving your comfortable, cushy job where you're getting a consistent income, the same amount every month. You don't have to worry about those things. When should you leave all of that comfort? And I think people who are asking that question are usually people who are working a job, let's say like an accountant, and you're not really liking, you're not enjoying it, but it is a good paycheck, so you just keep doing it and doing it, but it's not what you're passionate about, and they're already thinking about something else. They know what they actually like doing, whether it's graphic design or photography, videography, whatever it is, and that's the thing that you would really want to be doing, but you're scared to make that full commitment to that new thing. This video, I think, is really for those people, but also for people who are let's say graphic designers working for another company, but they just want to go freelance graphic design, not working for somebody else specifically, not like a full-time job. And that's actually what happened with me. I was working full-time at a church doing their media, so I was doing filmmaking work, editing, and all that stuff already, but I wanted to freelance and essentially work for myself instead of for somebody else. But it's a really scary place making that decision. And again, I know that because I've gone through this process, this journey myself, so I can say it from experience that it's not an easy decision to make. There are a lot of people who are telling me you shouldn't do it, don't leave a good job for something that might not even work out at all. But also, this is not a permission video, a license for you to now just go and quit your job. Be smart, evaluate it. Everybody's situation is different, so you have to see what is your situation and is freelancing gonna work for you. So here it is. This is kind of my checklist for when you know you are ready to actually make that jump, quit your job and go into freelancing. This is the checklist that I kind of used to figure out when the right time was for me. But again, these are my ideas, the things that I did. This is not permission for you to do the same. Number one is, are you actually good enough to make money from that thing? Let's say you want to be a freelance photographer. Are you actually getting paid for that already? Are you at that level in your photography where other people are wanting to give you money for your skills? If you're not there yet, you're not ready to go freelance, not by a long shot. So you should already be making money from this skill of yours, whatever it is. And then number two is, are people actually asking you to do that skill for them? Not only are people wanting to pay you for it, but Are people seeing you as a photographer or videographer? Are people coming to you and saying, you're a great photographer, do photography for me, take photos of me or for my company or whatever it is? That's when you start seeing that, like, okay, there's something to this. People are seeing my work and they consider me as a photographer or as a graphic designer or as a videographer. That's a really good gauge when people start actually asking you to do this thing and you're not even having to push it to other people, asking them, oh, can I take photos at your wedding or at that birthday party or whatever it is. When people are starting to ask you, then you know there's something to this. Number 3, I would say, is check your motivations. This one's really important, even though it's kind of hard to think about, but really check your motivation. Don't do it just because everybody else is doing it. It's the cool thing to do, go freelance. That is definitely not the reason to go freelance. And also, don't go freelance just because you have a really hard situation at your job, or you don't like some of the people at your workplace. Don't do it for any of those reasons. Do it actually because you want that freedom. You want to be your own boss. Those are the motivations I think that you should have, and none of that other stuff. You need to figure out, is this actually the best thing for you and your family to go freelance instead of working for somebody else? Number 4, are you diversified in your skill set? So let's say you're a videographer. Are you only shooting weddings or are you only doing music videos and that's it? If that's your situation, I don't think you're ready to go freelance. I think you need to diversify your income streams, so you're doing all sorts of stuff in the beginning, and then as your career progresses, then you can be a little bit more picky and choosy about what you're doing. But in the beginning, you want as many places that you're getting work from, not just, I only shoot music videos, that's the only thing I'm doing. You're probably not gonna do very well if you quit your full-time job and that's your attitude. For me, when I quit my full-time job, I was getting about 47% of my income from my actual full-time job. 25% was from weddings that I was shooting on weekends and my off time. About 16% was from corporate videos for other companies. And then about 11% was from passive income streams like my teaching courses or selling stock footage online. So you can see, when I quit my full-time job, I was actually already making more money from the freelancing for that year than from my full-time job. So it felt really safe taking that jump because I was already making money freelancing. Even though I had this full-time job, I was already freelancing and making money from it. And then number 5, and I think this one is the most important, is, are you getting more work than you can actually do with your full-time job? So you're an accountant and you're getting photography gigs, and you're actually getting more photography gigs than you can do with the time that you have. You can't just do it as a side hustle anymore, or you have to start turning down those jobs. That is the pivotal moment. That is the key moment where it's really safe to now quit your full-time job and start freelancing. When you actually have more work coming in, then you can do more demand for your skill set than you actually have time to give. A lot of people are wanting to pay you for what you do. That, I think, is like the pivotal moment. Once that moment happens, then I think it's pretty much a no-brainer to go freelance. And as long as you've diversified your income streams and all of that stuff, I think it's pretty safe to take that step. And I think one of the biggest things for most people is this insecurity. You're not having a stable income anymore. This idea that freelancing, it's just not safe. And I think that's actually a big misconception. That's not true. As long as you're doing it smart, as long as you're diversifying your income streams, it's actually really, really stable. And this is the reason for it. When you're working a traditional full-time job, if something happens, let's say the economy crashes and you lose your job, you have nothing. You just have that one job. If you lose that one job, you have nothing. Whereas if you're freelancing, let's say you're doing weddings and music videos and corporate gigs. Let's say, the corporate gigs dry up a little bit. You're not really getting that many of those anymore. Well, you still have your music videos and your weddings going on. So just because you lose a few clients even, you're totally fine. You still have all these other clients. Whereas again, with the traditional full-time job, if you lose that one job, you got nothing. But I want to give you guys just a few more things to think about because this is not an easy topic. I've been freelancing for about 7-8 years, I think, and I think 3 full-time now. And these are the reasons kind of why I chose to freelance and the things that I've liked while I've been freelancing. And to illustrate this, I'm gonna put it into a pie chart into percentages. So I'd say one of the best things, about 10% of the reason why I went to go freelance is the diversity in the work. So when I was working at the church, I was just doing those church videos the whole time. But then once I went freelance, I was shooting some weddings, doing some corporate jobs. I was working for Nike or San Pellegrino. You never really knew what you were doing, and I like that. I like having diversity in my work, so I don't get bored doing the same thing over and over and over again. I'd say about 15% of the reason why I quit my full-time job was getting to choose who I work with. So when I was working at the church, I didn't get to work with people that were way better than me so that I could, make better products, but also get better myself. I wanted to work with other directors and other cinematographers and other editors who are better than me so that we could make even better videos and that I could just get better and better at my craft. Whereas if I'm kind of the best and other people are just learning from me, I'm not really learning, and I always want to be, taking things to the next step and going forwards in my career. About 25% was the fact that I could affect my income, so I can do more freelance work and therefore I'm going to make more money. Whereas if I'm doing a full-time job, it doesn't really matter how much I work or how I just get paid that same amount. So with freelancing, you can affect the amount of money you make a lot more. You have a lot more flexibility there depending on how much work you want to do. And then the big one for me, about 50% of the reason why I went freelance was the freedom to choose the work that you do. So with freelance, you get to be more picky, especially as your career goes along, about what kind of projects you take on. You don't have to do the work that's just given to you by your bosses. You get to choose, do you want to do that Nike commercial, or do you want to do those YouTube videos, or do you want to shoot that wedding, whatever it is. You get to choose a lot more the work that you're doing. So those were kind of the reasons why I chose to go freelance. And then lastly, I just want to quickly give you guys a little bit of a warning. If you fit into any of these categories, I don't think you're ready to go freelance. These are kind of like the red flags that you're not yet ready, at least, to go freelance. Number one is if you're not disciplined. If you're lacking discipline, you should not be a freelancer because you're your own boss. So you have to make your own hours. You have to decide if you're gonna edit that project now or later. You have to do all those things. You need to be disciplined. 2, if you're bad with your money, do not go freelance. First, learn how to save, be good with your money, because with freelancing comes a whole bunch of other things like having to save more money because you don't have all these benefits and that kind of stuff. You need to be really good with your money because you're gonna be making all those decisions and nobody else is making, what to invest in, what gear and all that kind of stuff. You need to be making those decisions. So you need to be good with your money. 3, if you get really, really stressed out about the unknown. Because you don't know where your money is necessarily going to be coming in the next month or the month after that, it can bring some stress. And that's probably one of the biggest or hardest things for a lot of people when they talk about freelancing, is that kind of unknown about where you're going to get paid and just having to trust and rely that those gigs are going to keep coming. But if that would just stress the crap out of you, you're not ready for freelancing. 4, if you don't take initiative, again, you're not cut out for the freelancing world because you have to go after those jobs. Nobody else is just gonna give them to you, just hand them to you. You have to, especially in the beginning, take the initiative, send an email to that company or ask that director, can you work with them, or whatever it is. You need to take that initiative so that you're getting work. Nobody is just giving you that work. And 5, plain and simple, if you don't wanna run your own thing, you shouldn't freelance, because even if you're just freelancing, it's pretty much the same as running your own company. You become an entrepreneur. So if you don't want to run your own thing, don't go freelance. Work for somebody else. Find some like-minded people that you can work with. So there you go. That's my big spiel about when you should quit your full-time job to go freelance. And I hope you can take some of these ideas and, again, be smart, evaluate them for yourself, look at your own situation, go through some of these checks, and then you're gonna have to make that decision for yourself. Again, this is not a license to go and quit your job right now. I don't want to make your wife or husband and angry. Do not quit your full-time job unless you're really, really ready to take on everything that comes along with the freelancing world. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you got something out of it. I know a lot of you have been asking me this question, so I wanted to take some time and really address it. All right, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.